You're watching Voiceover. How did you do it? At voiceoverpodcast.com, where we talk to seasoned, successful voice actors to find out how they did it. I'm your host, Ian Kleinfeld, and you can find me at voicebyian.com. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at voicebyian. Hey, Sam, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Ian. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you so much. So, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm living life as best I can in a global pandemic and civil uprising.
Oh, come on. Don't be such a drama queen.
Yeah, right.
It's you're making a mountain out of a molehill.
Right, I know. Oh God, so dramatic. Oh
So
man.
cool.
Yeah.
So let's get into the basics. What's your
Okay.
website and business name, if any? And
Um,
what are you doing these days?
yeah, my website is just my name, samanthaglovin.com. Um, and I go by that, Samantha Glovin, or Sam Glovin on certain social media sites, just keep it like cash. And then right now I'm doing a mix of stuff. The bulk of my work is commercial, e-learning, business narration, and IVR and telephony.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Keeping busy with that. What,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is the thing that you're doing most of?
Um, I mean, I do IVR telephony pretty much every day.
Uh-huh.
Um, I One of my first clients is a company based in the UK, and they send me phone prompts pretty much on a daily basis. Um, and so that's a big bulk of my work. They're kind of like my baseline,
Uh-huh.
and then I just audition most days for, like I said, it's all a mixed bag: commercial, e-learning, corporate narration. I'd say it's probably even between everything.
And do you do
Yeah.
this through your agent or through pay to play or all of the above or direct
Yeah.
marketing?
All of the above. I mean, direct marketing, not as much. That's not something that I really push for. I'll do it kind of once in a while when the mood strikes. But I do a lot on pay to plays and a lot through my agents. The stuff that I book through my agents and manager is typically commercial work, like
Mm-hmm.
higher profile stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then stuff on pay to plays and repeat clients is typically like, e-learning, corporate narration, stuff for company websites,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what were you doing before you got into VO?
Before I got into VO, well, I went to school for film, but I always wanted to be an actor, and I did. I spent more time in the theater than I did in the film lab when I was in
Uh-huh.
college. Um, and then I graduated and was like, I'm gonna be an actor. I'm gonna pursue this. I'm gonna make this happen. So I did that for a couple years after I graduated, for on camera,
Mm-hmm.
and the stage, and that was good. And then I got to a point where I was like, I need to move out of my parents' house. I was lucky enough to be able to move back to my parents
Yeah.
after I graduated. Um, and so I got a full time job at a film production rental house.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of like a day job. I was the receptionist, like accounting person, janitor, like jack of all trades type office manager
Mm-hmm.
situation. Um, and I was there for I was there for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Building up my voiceover business while I was there. So, um, the first 2 years I was a full-time employee. And I got to a point where I was like, okay, this has been great. It let me get out of my parents' house. But I need to, I'm not doing what I want to be doing. I need to, make a shift. So I went to put in my 2 weeks notice. And thankfully, in hindsight, my boss was like, okay, we don't want to lose you. What do you need? And I was like, well, I want to pursue voiceover. Um, and I need to be, I need to have the time to do that. So part time would be great if you're willing. And he was, thankfully. So then I stayed on part time for an additional 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
while I, slowly built up my VO business. And then finally, after the third year of part time, of like training and, taking all the classes and auditioning on my off days. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I was at the office. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I was doing everything voiceover.
Hmm.
And eventually I just made the leap and now here we are.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how did you get into voiceover?
Um, well, so like I said, I always wanted to act. So I had
Yeah.
the acting training. So I studied film, but I also took a lot of acting classes in school. And I've taken classes like at UCB and done other at Labyrinth Theater and done a bunch of um training outside of, my college courses.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, and then just like studied and always thought that I just thought that I had confidence that I could do it in voiceover more
Uh-huh.
so than like film and the stage. I don't know, it was like a gut feeling like I really think I could pursue this and make a living at it.
Nice.
Um, and so I focused on that. I took a bunch of classes and joined a bunch of groups on social media. And then so I took a like a full class with like 12 people with a guy, Ed Lewis.
Hmm.
He used to teach a class called Shut Up and Talk. And then I eventually did private coaching with him.
Hmm.
Um, and then cut a commercial demo with him. And part of that deal with cutting a demo with him meant that he would give you a list of like industry contacts of
Hmm.
his. And you could essentially reach out with your newly minted demo made by him and be like, hey, I'm a student of Ed. I'm new to VO, but this is my demo. I've done a bunch of training. Um, I'd love to freelance with you if you're interested. And so I put all the feelers out and got a couple bites, and I'm still with some of those agents today.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
It's cool. And what do you feel like you owe your success in voiceover to?
It's a combination of things.
Of course.
Uh, it's busting my ass. Can I curse on this
You
show?
can curse. You can say
Okay.
whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, fuck yeah! Okay, cool. Um, yeah, it's uh hard work,
Uh-huh.
like staying persistent. Uh, Even when you're at the point where like a certain goal seems completely unfathomable and unattainable, just knowing like this shit takes time.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, working really hard at it. Um, I like to think that I have some level of talent.
Hmm.
Like you come into this as a voice talent, you have to have a little bit of a whatever that je ne sais quoi, whatever it is that allows you to do this. Because not everybody could do this.
Voice talent.
Voice talent, yeah. Um, and then also privilege. I mean, voiceover in
Yes.
my mind is a very privileged profession. Like I think about how I got here and it's like, okay, well, my parents were able to put me through college and then I was fortunate enough to be able to move home and live at home with them after I graduated and I was able to save up money because I didn't have to pay them rent and therefore I was able to invest in classes and the gear that I needed. So it's a combination of things.
Hmm.
And that's, I try to really stay mindful of that. Like that is not lost on me that it's a privileged profession.
Oh yeah. It's you have to have access to thousands of dollars
Yeah,
to get into
exactly.
this. I mean, there's
Exactly.
no way to get into this without it.
Right. And that doesn't have to be all in one, chunk. Like you don't have to
No.
go out tomorrow and spend $10,000, but over, I've been doing this like 6 years now. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
spent a pretty penny.
Yeah. Well, that
But you
booth
grow as you
alone is a
go.
pretty penny. And
What's that?
I said that booth alone is a
Oh
pretty
yeah.
penny. And that's
Yeah.
secondhand.
It's secondhand from Karin, who is one of
Yeah.
your guests. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
nice. So
Yeah.
what kind of suggestions do you have for new voice actors?
So many. So
Yeah,
many
well,
suggestions.
we got
Um,
time.
yeah. Um, first first thing, start off with training. Like if you want to do this, and you're really passionate about it, recognize that investing in yourself and in classes and coaching is a business investment. You're not going to make a return on your investment immediately, but you will hopefully down the line. Um, so especially if you don't have like an acting background like I do, you just want to get as much training as you can up front. You'll learn about performance and how to act, and then you'll learn about like being in the booth and mic technique, and you'll learn about the business side of it and booth etiquette, like when you're in a directed session with someone. Um, so training is definitely number one. Um, Patience. I know this is like this is the last thing people want to hear because I remember when I was first starting out, I was like, I just want to do it, and I want to do it today.
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
start making money right now.
Yeah.
Um, but just know that it takes time, and if you adopt that mindset of like, okay, I'm in it for the long haul. This is what I want to do. Um, it's just persistence, and hard work, and follow through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else? Newbies. I'm trying to think. Okay, when I was a newbie, I just wanted it to happen right now. But yeah, I guess that's it. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know.
Okay. Uh, and you got your agent through your coach, right?
Yes, so I'm with Susie Friedman and Take One, who are both like New York freelance non-union agents.
Uh-huh.
Um, And then I'm also with ACM, and they're bi-coastal, and they're New York, Atlanta, LA, and Big Mouth, and Weeman, a bunch of regional agents as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have like 9 reps all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
AB squared. So yeah, I'm sorry,
Wow.
what was your question? Was that
Uh, it was just about agents. Yeah.
about agents? Yeah. So that's. I mean, I got Susie and Take One through Ed when I first started, and then kind of branched out, and you grow as you go. I booked a job through Lotus Productions. Shout out to Lotus Productions; they're the best in the biz. um, I booked a
Mm-hmm.
job through them, and that's how I got my manager because the
Mm-hmm.
manager had sent them the audition. I booked it, and then they reached out like, "Hey, let's work together." I was like, "Okay, cool,
Nice.
yeah,
I could do that. Yeah.
I could do
No
that. Yeah,
problem.
sure, yeah."
Nice. So you want to read the script?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
actually, I was reading it before we got on the phone. I have a few
Scandal.
scandalous. Can I read it a couple times?
You can read it as many times as you want,
Okay,
as
because I have
many ways
ideas.
as you want, and it's purposely vague.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great. Rock
You
and
can read it straight,
roll.
you can read it silly, you can read it stupid, you can read it however you like.
Okay. All
Just
right.
as
Well,
long as there's one straight read.
okay. I'm gonna start with like
And
conversational
include your
vibe.
process in it. So like, how do you think about it? And, and then like when you get a script, what do you do? And
Sure.
take it from there.
Do you want me to talk about that now or after I
Yeah, why
read
don't
it?
you talk about that now a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. So I read it and was like, okay, so it's for Lyft, right? The rideshare app. Um, so like millennial, young, that's like kind of their market and who they're catering towards. So definitely not announcery. Definitely what we all hear all the time, which is conversational, like you're talking to a
Mm-hmm.
friend kind of
Mm-hmm.
vibe. Um, Now to build on that, I was like, okay, so I could do this a couple ways. So if I was doing this as an actual audition, I would give 2 takes. The first take would be a little bit more upbeat conversational, and then the second would be a little bit like attitude,
Mm-hmm.
sass, because
Mm-hmm.
the script kind of it could serve both.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm gonna go into it.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Lyft is a lot more than just a car ride. Yeah, you heard me right. Shared rides, bikes, scooters, fancy cars, public transit, and more. And they're all available with your Lyft app. We're always happy to pick you up, but we can help you get there more ways than you thought. Download the Lyft app today and get going. Cool.
Upbeat conversational.
Upbeat conversational. Yeah. Okay, now little sassafras. Okay. Lyft is a lot more than just a car ride. Yeah, you heard me right. Shared rides, bikes, scooters, fancy cars, public transit, and more. And they're all available with your Lyft app. We're always happy to pick you up, but we can help you get there in more ways than you thought. Download the Lyft app today and get going.
Just a little sass.
Well,
Just a little
sass.
bit.
Well, like
Uh-huh.
I got some attitude.
Yeah.
I'm a young person.
Yeah.
I'm
What else you
angry.
got? What else? I'm young. I'm angry. I'm bitter.
I'm bitter. No, not yet. Not yet. Oh man.
Lift. We get you there more ways than one.
We get you more ways than one.
Yeah. What else you
um,
got? You
what
want to
else?
do some
Let's
more?
see. Sure. I mean, I could do I don't know. Something what would go like opposite of this, like super announcery.
You could do super announcer. You could do like really depressed.
Really
You could-
depressed. I like that. Yeah. That's yeah, I like that vibe. Okay. Been feeling that a lot lately.
Yeah.
Okay. Lyft is a lot more than just a car ride. Yeah, you heard me right. Shared rides, bikes, scooters, fancy cars, public transit, and more. And they're all available with your Lyft app. We're always happy to pick you up, but we can help you get there in more ways than you thought. Download the Lyft app today and get going.
Because I can't.
I just can't.
Just
So
can't
silly.
even. All right.
Uh,
Do you do animation at all?
I don't that much,
Yeah.
like character work.
Yeah.
No, but I would like to.
Yeah.
It's just like a lot of that I think is in LA. Not that that matters as much anymore because everybody's working from home, so it doesn't really
Right.
matter where you are. But that's definitely something I wanna um, tap into this year. Animation and particularly like kids
Mm-hmm.
voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I just love the little babies. I love the little
I
babies.
really like that. There you go.
Yeah.
Go for it.
What?
Really like
Read
that.
it like that? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Lyft is a lot more than just a car ride. Yeah, you heard me right. Shared rides, bikes, scooters, fancy cars, public transit, and more. And they're all available with your Lyft app. We're always happy to pick you up, but we can help you get there more ways than you thought. Download the Lyft app today and get going.
Oh my God, you sound like Lisa Biggs.
Oh my God, Lisa Biggs.
I
That's
just
an
interviewed
honor.
her the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's the
awesome.
best.
She's amazing. Yeah. I
So,
actually did some coaching with her. Shout
yeah.
out Lisa Biggs. Yes. If you need a great coach.
Yeah, I want to do some coaching with her too. I want to do
Yeah.
coaching with like half the
Oh, with
people
like I know. I know. All the
out
people
there.
that you've had on your podcast so far
Yeah,
are all great.
exactly. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun and they can coach you in more ways than one.
Yeah.
So get a coach and get going.
Get a coach and get going.
Yeah, exactly. So what kind of audition suggestions do you have for newbies? How do you book things?
I spend a lot of time on pay to plays. And so if you are on those sites, my suggestion would be read about 20 to 30 seconds of the copy, if it's longer than that, and read through the first 20 to 30 seconds twice. Give two different vibes, but also like that can be challenging because if they give you direction and you think you nail it on that first take, you're like, okay, well, I want to stay within their direction, but I also want to, give them a little variety. Um, you can do what they're asking for, and then you can like put your own little spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, two takes. You don't want to slate when you're on pay to play sites.
Mm-hmm.
They're listening to so many of these. They're just like clicking through, like, okay, this one, this one. They're probably only honestly going to listen to the first like 5 to 10 seconds. So if you're not catching them in that first line or two, they're just gonna. And then if you slate, that like throws them out of the loop and out of the
Mm-hmm.
the momentum. So just go right into it. Two takes. Um, make sure you have proper mic technique. You want to be like the way I do it is I have my mic. It's like it's like in line with my nose probably when
Mm-hmm.
I'm recording. Um, and I'm not tilting my head up to it because
Right.
that like is constricting to the voice. So you want to make sure you're looking straight ahead. Um, and just go right into it, and don't spend too much time on it. Like at first, when you're first starting out, totally like, mess around with different ways of saying it, but I mean, when you start doing it consistently, at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. And so you want to
Hmm.
be sending out as many auditions as you can. And the more you do it, the more you'll like kind of get a vibe for what different companies are going for, and you'll know how to deliver it. And so you take like 5 minutes. I mean, I take anywhere from like 2 minutes to 10 minutes on an
Hmm.
audition, depending. Um, but you want to just like keep it moving. If that's what you're doing. If you're on pay to plays, it's just a
Hmm.
numbers game. Yeah.
I'm on VDC, and I'm wishing that I hadn't. I'm wishing that I had done to 1 2 3 instead. I just feel like it's a waste of time.
Oh, it's a whole can of worms.
It is a whole can of worms. I was on 1 2 3, and I got a lot of auditions for like 2 weeks, and then none. And
Yeah.
I thought there's no point for me to pay them, especially at the $600 level, to get like 2 auditions a day.
On Voice 123.
Yeah. So I
That's
was
weird
like,
that you were paying them that amount and you were only getting.
yeah. So that's why I quit and got a refund, and I went to Voices.
Yeah.
And now I'm like,
I know. I know. There are pros and cons to all of it.
yeah,
Some more cons than pros, but
yeah,
like you do what works for you.
yeah. I
Make
just feel
sure.
like I've gotten, one job on each of them.
Uh-huh.
But that's it, so I've gotten a number of, what do you call them? Where they like hot list you,
Oh, like you're on the short list and
short list. That's
they'll
the
be
word.
like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And
But,
they're like,
I
you're one of
have
our
not
top
gotten,
selects.
huh?
They're like, you're one of our top selects, so just so you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Which, that's nice to know, but
yeah,
I get about 10% on that, but it's just, I would love an actual another job. It's been a couple months. So,
yeah, yeah,
so I'm going to hook up with Tom Aglio and do some direct marketing training now that I got my demo,
yeah, he's the guy.
and, just start doing that. I think that'll probably be more productive
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. Right. I mean, everyone has their own way of doing it. That's the thing about voiceover. There's no direct path. Like, I just told you my whole story and how I did it. Like,
Yeah,
it's not the same for everybody. So you just figure out, you play in different sandboxes and figure out what works best for you. Um,
exactly.
you know.
And it takes time. It does take time. And that's part of what takes time is
Uh-huh.
the figuring out what works for you and your
Yeah.
voice and your, particulars.
Right. My first year, so I went full time at the beginning of 2019. That's when I
Hmm.
left my job at the film production rental house. Um, and I was like ready to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and ramen noodles and
Uh-huh.
never leave my house and just be a hermit. Um, and then just like went full force, just auditioned every day on these pay to plays, did some direct marketing, and built up a clientele base. Like it takes time to build up repeat clients. And now I'm finding like I'm still auditioning a lot on pay to plays, but a little bit less than when I first started because I
Hmm.
have these repeat clients coming back to me and,
Hmm.
work takes priority to auditioning.
Right.
So it just yeah, it takes time to build that up. Um so yeah, just patience, and persistence.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, do you sit or stand?
It's a mixed bag. Right now I'm sitting. I typically sit most of the day when I'm auditioning. I always stand if I have a session. I'll just take my chair out of the booth. And sometimes if I have an audition that's really physically demanding, like if it's for a video game or something,
Hmm.
then I'll stand. Or if I'm just tired of sitting, I'll
Hmm.
just be like, okay, I've been sitting for way too long. Um, so yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Um, any more advice or final words?
That was fast.
It was fast.
I feel like there's so much. Oh my God.
Well, we can go on. We don't have to
Let's,
wrap up.
okay.
We
Okay.
don't have to say goodbye. Those were just all my questions. Let's talk about self-promotion. Why don't you self-promote for a minute?
Oh God, no.
Give us some self-promotion.
Self promotion. Okay. Um, www.samanthaglovin.com. That's my website. I'm on all of the social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, at Sam Glovin, SamGlovin.
Hmm.
On LinkedIn, I'm Samantha Glovin, just because it's more professional. Um, and I mean, my social media, I mean, I do some voiceover self promotion on there, but I also intermix it with like personal stuff. Like I have pigeons on my windowsill that I talk to every day
Yeah.
since the pandemic started. It's a
Yeah.
silly thing. I
Have
sometimes
they started talking back yet?
I feed them. I feed them sunflower seeds every day, and they, and they come back. They now live under my air conditioner. It's pretty hilarious. And some people are into it, and some people aren't, and that's fine. If you're into it, great. Come, join the party. Um, but yeah, it's a mixed bag. I guess I would say that's something I would share is like as much as you love voiceover and you know want to go like full force into it, you should make sure that you have a life outside of it.
Hmm.
I find that a lot of people, I mean, I just I've seen people that like that is their identity, that is their whole thing, and that's cool. And if it makes you money, great. I don't know if this is a little controversial, but in my mind, it's like you want to be a well-rounded human. That
That's scandalous.
is this scandalous? I don't know. I'm not like throwing shade or anything. I just think
No.
like, you're a fully formed human being and,
Yeah.
you want to share parts of your life. And if someone doesn't want to, I mean, I share my politics on my social media, and if someone doesn't want to work with me because of that, like, oh well.
I
I don't
share
really
politics on Facebook. I don't do it on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't do it on my Facebook page. I just do it
Yeah.
on my Facebook personal thing.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do it on Facebook and Instagram. Twitter, I'm not really on for voiceover, to be
Yeah.
frank. I mean, I follow some voiceover people and I engage here and there, but I'm mostly on there for politics, um, and death scrolling, essentially.
And there's
And
so
link
much good doom to scroll through these days.
I know. Doom scrolling, that's the word, yeah.
Death
Death
scrolling
scroll.
by Sam
Oh
Glovin.
my god. Death scroll.
She'll kill your Twitter feed.
Yeah, yeah. So, uh, yeah, it's a mixed bag. I don't stress about it too much because I'm making a great living doing voiceover, and so,
So
if the day comes where I feel like I need to use these platforms to, get more work to amplify myself, then I will. But for right now, I'm doing fine.
let
So,
me ask you, how could you tell? I'm not sure exactly how to phrase this, but how could you tell that moment when you went from sort of doing this to succeeding at it?
um, when I was working my full-time job, um, uh, and I was booking work,
Hmm.
and I was having to leave the job for auditions. I was having to like leave on the days that I was there. Like if that was also a part of the deal that I had set up. Like if I had an audition on a day that I was there, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I needed to leave for an audition or booking, I could, which is huge. Like,
Yeah.
I understand what a luxury that was. But when it got to that point where they were really conflicting, the two streams of income, I was like, okay, I need to just make this leap and
Hmm.
just do it because I know I can do it because I've been doing it. And if I'm able to like take that Monday, Wednesday, Friday full force and put my all into this, like there's no reason why I can't do this and have this be my the way that I make my living.
Hmm.
Because I've already proved to myself that I could. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely scary at first when you make that leap, when you get to the point where you're like, okay,
Hmm.
I'm gonna do this full time. It's terrifying. But you just have to look at it as, you're starting a business. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you're a performer, but you're really starting a business. You're an entrepreneur. You are working 9 to 5, sometimes 9 to 6, sometimes 9 to 7. It just depends on the day.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and yeah.
How did you learn the difference between commercial reads and e-learning and all these other types of reads?
There's definitely overlap. Um, I mean, I again, like training. I just took a lot of classes and like
Mhm,
I don't know. And yeah, I mean, I guess with e-learning, I used to work with little kids.
mhm.
Like I've done a lot of like babysitting, nannying. Um, I worked as like a camp counselor for little ones years ago, and so like the teaching aspect, uh, I guess that informs my e-learning reads. I mean, like I think one of your other guests talked about this. Like when you're being taught something from someone, you want to feel passion and enthusiasm and
Mhm.
energy and like they're coming from a real authentic place. You don't want a robot teaching you how to make pancakes. You want
Right.
someone who's excited about pancakes. Okay, so we're gonna take the flour and then we're gonna take the butter and the milk and put it all in the bowl, and it's gonna be so delicious, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's different for different products and different companies, but you just want to tap into your authenticity and who you are. That's another thing that's like we're hammered over the head with it is like, okay, I need to be myself. I need to be my most authentic self.
What if you're authentically a douche though?
And
Like
then
what do I do?
then good fucking luck to you. I mean, I mean, some douches make it,
Yeah,
some
that's
douches,
true.
like,
That's true.
sometimes people need douches to read their copy.
Yeah.
I don't know, but but like, oh God, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Kids, e-learning, excitement, pancakes.
Oh, I don't know. I
Mm,
have ADD, and sometimes I'll be in the middle of a sentence, and it just like it turns to
squirrel.
mush.
Yeah.
Squirrel. Yeah. No. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um. But yeah, I mean, it's you just want to be as you possibly can. Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Authentic.
Like we're so often like told just be you, just be you, just be your authentic self, and it's like the second you step behind the mic, that the time the second you
It's a
try to be you,
yeah.
you don't. You just automatically turn into this person who's like, okay, I need to give them what they want. You give them what you think they want when really you just need to be you, and it's hard to turn that off. And that's where the training comes in, because the second you step behind the mic, you're like, I need to sound a certain way. I need to, make sure I'm hitting all of these marks and being like perfect. And that's not that's certainly not the trend. Like people
Mhm.
just want to hear. I mean, so often, like 90% of the auditions that I get for commercial are like real, conversational, upbeat, like just be real, 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 real.
Yeah, but not real like that. Can you be real like this?
Yeah, yeah. And then it's so funny because then you'll get into the actual you book the job and you get into the session and they just have you read it like an announcer.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
So
But yeah,
it's real for the audition and then
right.
announcer for the actual job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, but yeah, I mean it's really it's a skill to learn how to just be you. Paul
Yeah.
Liberti is an amazing teacher for
Who's
that.
that?
Paul Liberti.
Uh-huh.
Shout him out. Yeah. He just helps you tap into being your most authentic self. Uh,
Nice.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, what else?
the authentic part and just how to be authentic, how to be conversational, but also not to be boring, you know? So it's like, what if you're authentically boring? What if you're authentically depressed? What if you're authentically I don't know. It's just even when they say authentic conversational, they don't entirely mean totally authentic and conversational. They mean a little bit of excitement, a little bit of
They want personality.
yeah.
That's at the end of the day, they just want a unique personality that's relatable. And I mean, if you're a boring person, then I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I try not to be. I try not to be.
No, I don't think you're boring, Ian. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just be you.
Just be you.
Just be you. It's so easier said than done, but
It is so incredibly difficult to do that in front of a mic.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. I remember like some of the first classes I took in voiceover. Like that's all the teachers focus on is like take your hands out of your pocket. Why are you saying it like this? Just read the copy. Just read it as Sam Glovin and you'll be fine. I mean, I'm going to go back right now and read that lift thing again.
Okay.
Cuz I was putting it on a little bit, like my
Uh-huh.
technique, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read it as Sam Glovin. Where is it?
Okay.
Okay.
Just conversational, like you're reading different.
Just
Just yourself. Be
how I'm talking to
yourself.
you right
Be
now. Okay.
yourself.
So if you're gonna ask me what's the deal with Lyft? Lyft is a lot more than just a car ride. Yeah, you heard me right. Shared rides, bikes, scooters, fancy cars, public transit, and more. And they're all available with your Lyft app. We're always happy to pick you up, but we can help you get there more ways than you thought. Download the Lyft app today and get going. Like, is that a perfect read? No. But is it authentic? Is it real? Does it sound like a real person who's
Yeah.
talking to their friend? I mean, I think it kind of did.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, it's not like there's no enunciation. It's like, you know, I don't know. Not like pinpointing the ends of words and just reading it and being Sam. So you can do a read like that and then you can do one that's a little bit more polished, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Um yes, actually. I talked about this in the intro to VO class I think that we had talked about earlier. But this is a topic that is very nuanced that I like it didn't really like come across my radar until like the past year, and that's diversity in voiceover. I think for everyone in this space, but newer people entering into the space of voiceover, it's just important to have mindfulness and an awareness of diversity in voiceover. You know, like we said, it's a privileged profession when you look at it from the standpoint of like access and opportunity. Um, and at the end of the day, you're running your own business, and so you can choose how to participate and how you want to run your business. Like, for example, if I get an audition that says, you know, African American or Latinx female 20s to 30s, like even if I think that I can like tap into a certain vernacular or, you know, put on an accent, like absolutely not.
Yeah.
I should not be doing that. Um, and it's my job to make that choice, like to not participate in that. Um, you know, it's not lost on me. I'm a white cis straight lady. I'm like the default in this industry, and thankfully, like there's a lot more opportunity for women and people of color in voiceover, and that's starting to grow because the industry is growing and times are changing. But I just think it's important to have an awareness about it and know that you do have control because it sometimes feels like, well, I'm just auditioning, I'm not the one making the calls at the end of the day. I'm not casting it. And but you no, you can choose how you participate. So I just think that's really
Mhm.
important because it didn't even it did not even occur to me until like the past year. I was like, oh, diversity and inclusion in voiceover. That's really important. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't do any of those jobs either. I would just feel so weird. But
Oh no, it's you. No one
I'm
should.
I'm
If
an inner city black youth named Ian Kleinfeld. Yes.
no, even if you can like fake whatever that urban sound is, like it's unacceptable.
No, it just feels
Don't do
irresponsible
that.
to me.
Representation matters,
Yeah.
like on camera and in voiceover.
Yeah.
It's so important. So, um, yeah, I just wanted to add that because yeah, I think it's important.
It
Um,
is important. Definitely.
yeah.
Thank you.
If not the most important. And, we'd be remiss for not talking about it today. It's Monday, January 18th. It's MLK Day. So,
Yeah, that's true.
hmm
And
yeah,
you don't need to see the whole staircase, just take the first step.
hmm
That's a quote from
exactly.
MLK.
Yeah.
It's
That's,
on my
oh
social
my
media
God.
today, in fact.
Oh, nice. Oh, perfect. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Um,
Uh,
yeah, I also, I wanted to, can I plug? Can I plug
yeah,
a couple things?
you can
Okay, so I
totally
already
plug.
talked about my social media. I'm on all the things at Sam Glovin. Um, on If you're in the New York metro area, I'm a social media admin for the group Voice Actors of NYC. Definitely join that group because it's the most amazing, supportive,
It is. It's the
wonderful
best
group.
space on the internet.
It's really the best. So join that if you're in the New York metro area. Um, and then also, Voice Actors of NYC is sponsoring a survey to gather info on the state of VO in 2021. And we've posted it in our group, but we've also been posting it around other VO groups on social media. It's called the State of VO in 2021. So if you come across it in one of the other groups, please highly recommend you take it. It really takes like 2 minutes. It's 100% anonymous, and it's a way we're just trying to gather data on the state of VO in 2021. Um, so yeah, go and take the survey.
Go
Yeah,
take the survey.
go take the survey.
All the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah, man.
If you
Fucking
want to
kill
be a
kids.
cool kid, take
You
the
want to
survey.
be a fucking kill kid? Take the fucking survey.
That's right. Don't be a loser.
Don't be a loser.
Donald Trump didn't take the survey. Look what happened to him.
Oh God. Oh God. I'm gonna go. Excuse me while I vomit.
So how does one vomit in voiceover? Does that count as an effort?
Yeah, probably. Oh, totally. It's totally
Yeah.
an effort. I mean,
So,
how can you vomit? Like, how many different ways can you vomit? All right,
oh,
let's not.
hold on. So I was talking to Lisa Biggs in one of her classes, and she was talking about how for kids stuff, you really need to have to be able to burp on cue, but she
Uh-huh.
can't do it. So she has a whole file of different burps she has. And
Of
she
course
says,
she does.
I can't, she says, like, I can't burp on cue, but I have a whole file of burps that you can choose from and just go ahead and look at that. She's the cutest. Oh my
She's
God.
so funny.
Yeah, she's
She's the best.
hilarious.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So maybe vomiting on cue is a thing too.
Yeah.
So, anything else that we can leave it on other than vomiting on cue?
Oh my God. Yeah. What else? What else? Let's not end there.
Burping on cue, K through 12, be yourself. So, if you're going to burp on cue, burp authentically,
Yeah.
burp conversationally,
Oh my God.
burp the real you.
Burp your essence.
I could see that as like a new Coke ad, right? Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. That's the whole thing. Coca-Cola.
Coca Cola, burp your essence.
I can't burp on cue either. I gotta call Lisa.
No, no, yeah,
Yeah.
understandable. All right. Well,
Oh
thank you
man.
so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome. I don't want it to end. This is
No,
so
well, we can
fun.
keep talking. The pressure is on you, though. You got to come up with new topics.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well,
Uh,
what kind of advice would you give to people? Like, how does someone go from like 0 or 1 to where you are? What would you say? Like, what?
it just takes time.
Yeah,
And it takes persistence, and like you're going to get so frustrated along the way, and you're going to feel like a failure, and you're going to feel like I can't do this. What's the point? Da 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 da. But when that thought appears, you acknowledge it, you say, "Okay, cool. Bye." Put it to the side and keep it moving. If this is what you want to do, you just keep
got to
working
do
at
it.
it. You
Yeah.
just got to do it. Like, you might have friends, family members, whoever, whatever people in your life that might be doubting you or not offering you support,
Cut
and
them out. Cut them off.
cut them all
Cut them
out.
out of your life.
I mean, you set your boundaries, you do what works for you, and just all you need is yourself. All
Cut
you
them out
need
of
is
your
to believe.
life.
No, Ian. Or maybe. I don't know. Just you have to just believe in yourself.
If they
That's
don't
all
believe
you
in your voiceover career, you don't need them.
That's all you have at the end of the day is yourself, and you're the only one who can do it.
That's
So
right.
just fucking do it. Just
Yeah,
do
just
it.
Nike, just fucking do it.
Just fucking do it. And you know what else? Drink a lot of water
Drink a lot
and
of water.
eat your fruits and veggies and exercise, because it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
You have to take care of your voice. You have to take care of your body. Your body is an instrument in your career.
And a
Like,
temple. Don't forget a
and a
temple.
temple. So, really, take care of yourself. Um, yeah.
How do you find motivation in those moments when you're just like feeling like you're not booking anything and you're just like, oh my God, should I even bother?
It's
Where do you find
still
that motivation?
it still happens to me. I mean, like I've been doing this full time for 2 years, and I I'm like, okay, what's the root cause of this? Figure out what that is. And it's usually just some stupid inner demon from like my childhood, and I'm like, okay, cool, hi, I see you, acknowledge it, and then
Yeah.
say, okay, I'm gonna put you over here for now, whatever. Um, and go back and look at all that you've accomplished up to this point. Like, yeah, I might be in a little bit of a lull, but look at all of the shit that I've done and look
Hmm.
at where I am. Like, I could not fathom owning a studio bricks. I couldn't fathom it. And then here I am 5 years later, 6 years later, whatever it is, and I have one in my living room. You know, like
Hmm.
you just have to like go back, listen to some spots you've done, listen to like some killer auditions you've sent out, like talk to your friends in the VO community, because this community is so supportive, and it like we just get it. We get it. Um so if you feel down about it, just
Hmm.
tap into that, like talk to your people, remember where you
Community.
started. Community is it's so important.
Huge.
Yeah.
And she's not kidding about Voice Actors of NYC group. It's really an
Literally the
amazing place.
best.
So if you're listening to this, go to Facebook, look up Voice Actors of NYC, join the group, not the page. The page isn't a thing. The
Uh-huh.
page is there, but it's not really active.
Right.
Join the group.
And I'm
And
sorry if you don't
it's,
live in the New York metro area.
yeah, but it's
Wah.
still supportive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's the best. But there are other great groups on social media if you don't live in the area. You know, you just do a search on Facebook and you'll find a bunch.
But you don't have to live in the area to be in that group, do you? I am.
Yeah, we're kind of mm,
Oh,
trying to work on
kind of like
keeping it.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm from New York, so
Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah.
like from or living there currently, we're trying to keep it a little
Well,
exclusive.
fine. Okay, so put some velvet ropes on it and get a bouncer and
Yeah.
start paying people to line up
Yeah.
that you can reject them.
Do you live in New Jersey? Sorry, you can't come in. No, you can.
Uh,
You can.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If you live in the tri-state area, you're allowed to come into the Voice Actors of NYC group.
Yeah.
Go to Facebook and go to Voice Actors NYC now.
Oh my god, you're so good, Ian.
Oh, well, that wasn't authentic.
But perfect announcer
Yeah,
voice.
thank you. Mm.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for your time.
Oh my gosh, my
Thanks for
pleasure.
coming on. And,
Yeah.
if you think of anything else, it's too late.
I know. I'm gonna think of all of it when I'm in the shower later. I'm gonna be like, oh, I should have said this and this and this and this. But yeah, anyway. If you're
No,
a
it's been,
newbie, if what, go ahead.
I was just say it's great to have you. But if you're a newbie,
I was gonna say, if you're a newbie, find me on social media and follow me, and feel free to shoot me a DM if you have questions. I mean, this community has done so much for me and did so much for me when I was first starting out and coming up. Like, I am so more than happy to return the favor. So shout me out, slide into my DMs, whatever.
and if you're in the South, I run a group called Voiceover South. So
Yeah,
we have
exactly.
meetups Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yeah,
So South is from like Oklahoma on down.
yeah,
Apparently, Oklahoma is considered the South.
yeah.
I think it's probably just about slave states at this point. I don't know. But
On that
well, I'm just
note,
saying, why else would Oklahoma be included in the South? Because it's really not.
it's Midwest.
Well, it is, but it's considered the South.
Is it Oklahoma?
Yeah,
No, it's not.
in
Is it?
southern states, yeah.
Oh, says who?
It says Wikipedia, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Says a
Well,
map I found. You want to fight the map? You want to fight the map, Sam?
not really. I don't
No.
have the energy.
Coming up on Tuesday, Sam versus map.
Versus map.
Oh, we're just getting goofy now.
I I know. I love it. It's my favorite. It's my
Yeah,
favorite, like,
Goofy is
wavelength
fun.
goof.
Goof. All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna hit record. Say farewell. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to Voiceover. How did you do it? At www.voiceoverpodcast.com with me, Ian Kleinfeld. You can watch the video to all our podcasts at voiceoverpodcast.com/YouTube. The background track is 1959 by my alter ego Max Rocket, and you can find that and other songs at www.maxrocketmusic.com. Remember to like, subscribe, write a review, and all that good stuff on whatever podcast streaming service you're listening to, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.